Perfect. All right, let's start. We're drama therapists. Let's start with a warm up. You don't have to come on screen if you don't want to. You also can just pass if you don't want to. But I guess we're going to start with what, since we were talking about how hot it is, what summer cooling refreshment do you feel like today? So I'll start. Everybody knows me, Cindy, and today I could really use and would like a mojito. It feels like mojito weather.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Good.
Who
Okay,
wants?
I'll jump in if you like.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah. Hey, so I'm Todd Hunter, and in this very balmy, sticky, sultry kind of weather, I could go for. I love mojito, but I think I just like lemonade and watermelon, cold, 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 and sweet.
Mm, good one.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't mind going next.
Perfect.
So I'm Sabrina Mazza, and I got back from Italy a couple of days ago, kind of missing it a lot. And so I'm pistachio ice cream and dark chocolate. Yeah, pistachio, dark chocolate gelato. That's what I'm feeling.
Yummy.
Sounds great. Good one.
I'm Venus. I'm currently living in Toronto and also working in Montreal too. And I saw a guava lemonade today that I really regret not having. I should try that. And I was like, no, I don't need the extra sugar. I'll just have a coffee. And yeah, I wish I had that now. But anyways.
That sounds nice. Are you a warm coffee or iced coffee person? Do you have a preference?
Well, also this question made me think of like when I was in South Korea and there was so many iced Americanos everywhere, like plentiful, and that'd probably be what I would be having now. I'm on a train, so I'm not having nothing. Everything is yeah.
All
I
right.
have like water.
Well, that's why we're using our imaginations to imagine the possibilities. Miss Agathe or Shannon, I know you guys aren't on. Does anybody want to pop on and say hello and what drink you would be or refresher?
Hi, sorry I logged on through my clinic's Zoom earlier, so I was like, oh, should
No, don't worry.
log off and come back. I'm good. How are you all? Good to see you.
Good. We're introducing ourselves and then saying what summer refreshing drink or treat we feel like today.
Perfect. I'm Agathe. I use she, her pronouns. I'm in Montreal. And I would probably be like a nice fresh lemonade.
That's a popular one.
Yeah.
Perfect. Shannon, if you want to jump in now, you can. No.
Shannon, I'm gazpacho.
Ooh. Perfect. And Shannon, where are you hailing from? Sorry, just so I know.
I'm in Vancouver.
Hey. Good. Okay. Well, thank you. Welcome. I hope that it was expressed well on the email. Just to reiterate, sort of my goals of what I wanted to do. I want to do 1 month where I'm having this gathering, and then the second month I'm just kind of sending out a blast, like an email with sort of the latest information that's coming out. And so I did send that email. We had a few things. Since we have a few Quebec people, I will mention about the why can I never remember that acronym? The RQTA. Am I remembering that correctly? Is looking for letters. You can check the email, because the interesting thing that's happening in Quebec is we're really working on getting either getting our own order, a creative arts therapy order, or becoming part of. We've been working maybe with the social work order. There's also family and marriage order might accept us. But so one of the first steps is kind of, it's interesting. We don't have enough people in NADTA. And so when they're looking at us, they're saying, you guys don't have enough members. It's the one professional order we have. And they're looking at that saying, you don't have enough members for us to make you a college. And if you're not a college, then we can't put you as part of the OPQ, which is our, for anybody who's not from Quebec, being able to be a psychotherapist. And so the RQTA is asking us to write letters. I won't go into all the information. It's in the email, just to give you the points. But if you went to school in Montreal or Quebec or are living here, to write to write a letter and send it to them would be helpful, so that we are working towards our recognition. Right now in Quebec, it's the only province that doesn't see us as psychotherapists. It's a very frustrating experience for anybody who's living here or wanting or thinking of staying. People are leaving, so that's something that we're working really hard on and wanting to pay attention to. Yeah, I don't really have many things to report myself. My goal today was to find out what's going on. So we've got Ontario here, we've got Quebec, we've got Nova Scotia, we've got Vancouver. I want to make sure, because I'm in Quebec, I'm also focused at a university. It's funny, you'd think, and I'm in the NADTA, you'd think I'd have a good idea of what's going on. And I actually feel quite sheltered by being part of the university. And I feel like maybe because I'm a teacher, I'm not privy to a lot of the conversations between drama therapists that are going on, of your needs, of things that you're thinking about, of things that you are wanting us to look at. So I really wanted to open the conversation about that. One thing that I talked about at the last meeting that I'm working on and that has been put in the ears of the NADTA is to work on having at least something that we pay be at par. So what that means is I've asked whether it could be the conference registration or our annual fee. I don't think we can have everything, but I asked for a start to have at least one thing that we are paying at par. So if our annual fee is $100, we're paying 100 Canadian and not the 140, 150, depending on the exchange. It could be. So that's something that I'm kind of feeling passionate about and putting forth. I've put it towards on the board. We were very much focused on the conference that just happened. And so I'm sure we'll be talking again about that in the next few meetings. Our meetings were kind of really all around that, but that's sort of what I've put out. And so I'm kind of leaving out the floor to see if there's anything that is happening in Ontario, Nova Scotia, Vancouver that we want to be aware of or need help with or anything like that. And it's okay if you don't. Like, it's also, I don't want to put you on the spot. It's okay if you don't have anything to talk about. This is a place that I will create every 2 months for us to be able to do that. It's not a forced thing, but if there is anything, like I was thinking, we have like in BC, Vancouver, there's Fact BC, and they're the ones that are really in charge of what's happening with psychotherapy in that region. And we have members that are sitting on that. It's sort of like that, just wanting to make sure that what is happening in your provinces we are aware of, and that you're getting the help and the support and the recognition that you need. Does anyone have any? Yeah.
Did you put up your hand, or was I gonna speak? Did you?
Go ahead, Venus.
Oh, I was gonna say, I said the same thing that I had like at the conference, which is that I think that people who are graduating from the drama therapy program should be allowed to go to the conference for free, as a way to sort of like get people in and feel like part of the organization, just the first time when they graduate, like, wow, like you made it, look how much money you put in. And I wrote a whole like essay about this. I just didn't have anywhere to put it yet. So if you want this essay that I wrote called something about like, whose baby is this? I will send it to you and you could pass it to the right people, but
That's great. And I love that. Pass it on.
okay, I will, yeah, I will send it to you soon because I needed an audience and I tried to find the conference, talk to education, talk to whatever, and nobody's gonna do this. And we have a drama therapy fund, and I'm like, listen, you need more people in the organization, right?
Yeah.
Like, bottom line, like, you're not gonna get them in. Also, yeah, why aren't they doing the PRDT as part of like the ending the drama therapy program now? You know, like you apply for that and you're like in, right? Anyways,
Yeah.
these are my ideas. Anyway.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong. We've got two ideas here. We're talking about graduates, the year you graduate, entry into the conference. That's one. And then
Like,
the
get a
PR.
free conference when you graduate, right? Like, come to the conference for free when you graduate. Like, it's really a thing that is fun and, you know, makes you feel like you're part of it, and you understand like how you can be part of it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, I thought it was a good idea. It's in the essay. I'll send it to you.
And what were you saying about the PRDT?
Oh, well, now that it's a possibility to do the PRDT, like that puts your foot in the organization as well, right? Like, if people are graduating, they should be doing that because the application is always in August. So if you're doing it at the end of your program, you can apply right away, right? Like, you basically have everything by the time you graduate to now apply for the PRDT. I think that you should.
Yeah.
So it's also a way to get people in the organization.
Yeah, it's super important. I mean, it's certainly something we've talked a lot about, the idea of why become a member. What is in it for us? And I'm certainly interested in that discussion, especially being Canadians. I know a lot of the times do we need it? We have North America, but it's really situated in the States. Do we need our own Canadian thing? And I think we're proving that we don't have the numbers. And so we should, in my opinion, what I'm seeing is we don't have enough numbers to get invested for us to be able to do the work that we need. So we should be part of the North American. But what more do we need in order for it to feel not only authentic, but worth our time to be part of the organization? I mean, you all are, so it's hard to have a discussion with people who already see the value. But perhaps you have ideas, kind of, again, one of the reasons for doing this is ideas for how to get other people. I mean, maybe other drama therapists, and why aren't they becoming? I know a lot of people don't see the value because it doesn't bring insurance, or it doesn't bring. Is there other value to being part of an organization? Yeah, I know for me, the reason when I graduated, I didn't become part of the NADTA, again, because in Quebec it was, confusing, and I ended up becoming a part of it because when at one point the OPQ opened it up to drama therapists to become part of it, and I missed the grandfathering in because I wasn't part of an organization, and I was a little island all by myself. And that is, I think, one of the really important things for a lot of us. We're islands. We're kind of working. I mean, I'm certainly not now anymore, but because I'm at Concordia. But before I was an island, and so trying to know what's going on is so important. We've got professional recognition, which remains important while we navigate insurance. Yes, professional. And I got, you're in Quebec, right? You're on mute.
Sorry, I'm eating too. So
Don't worry. This
yeah.
is a casual.
Yeah, so I actually studied at NYU, and then with COVID, I had to come back because I lost my job.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was struggling a lot, which was the reason why I left in the first place. I didn't choose to go to Concordia because I knew I was going to struggle after in remaining in Quebec. And so that happened just like 3 years later, and I didn't have a network. I didn't know anyone here because I didn't go to school here. So I really struggled. So I actually didn't go clinical for a long time, and I was really struggling. But I had my RDT as soon as I could, just so I could navigate the spaces as best as possible. And now I work in private practice part-time, and it does help to be able to, I'm recognized as a drama therapist, so I can work, and I've gone through the naturopath route for insurance, which is not ideal, but it's one option. But I think the professional recognition was important to me.
Yeah. Did you see the last email about the RQ? Oh, I got it.
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah.
So that would be a good, let me get that acronym properly as I'm doing this. Yes, the RQTA. Yes, I was right. So go and write that letter. The more that we can do that, oh, Shannon, needs to be a minute. The more that we can write, get ourselves recognized. It is a big passion. A lot of people are working on this to get that recognition. So whatever I know, I will keep sharing with you guys in order to all be on the same page.
Great.
I would love to know, are you feeling like you would like any other type of support, especially since you didn't study Concordia, you're here now, you're working in private practice. What would you feel would be supportive for you in regards to meeting other, or like, do you need that? Do you want that? Not to put you on the spot, but.
Well, I was lucky enough to be able to work with Jessica Bluer. And so I connected with her a little bit to try to remain connected to the scene here in Montreal, or at Concordia at least. So I'm trying to see if there's some opportunities, but it's mostly through Jess that I was able to connect back to the field here. But honestly, like I went to the last conference, but with COVID, everything, it felt very disconnected for a long time. And then with my previous job in the US, I also felt very disconnected. So it was a journey for me to find my way back to drama therapy. But so I feel like now it's more about like who is here, who are the people here, how are they navigating the space with insurance and orders, and how do they market themselves, how are they getting opportunities. I would also like to venture into like drama therapist supervision so that we can help more creative arts therapists and drama therapists here with their placement. So that's something I'm interested in, Cindy.
Perfect. I would say to start, like we can start that conversation, because again, the other thing that I wrote in that email, I think you saw it, was the Drama Therapy and Social Theater Center that is opening up. So there's their website is on there. And I think what's great about that is, for all of you who are in Quebec, they're in the process of getting this space. So there will be a few really big rooms. I see the phone hand is raised. I'll look at that after. So they're the space that has a few big rooms. They'll also have a theater space. They will have little cubicles for people who want to work online, but there's a community kitchen. And I have been putting together in talks with them of saying, not this year because we just had another conference. Our goal is to have 2 conferences a year, one in person and one online. But if we want a Canadian one, and let's not even talk about the conference, actually. Let's just talk about communicating with them to be able to create spaces of nights where, how are you guys advertising? Like just put a question in, and I am very interested in being part of that. So I thought that is a really good idea of just kind of taking this space to also create conversations and not just work, which is really nice.
You know what? I was thinking actually when you were talking about wanting to have a conference in another one in Canada, the poetry therapy people that I'm like aligned with. They're trying to figure out how to have a conference soon. So
Okay.
what if it was like combine this? That might be better.
We could, yeah, keep me posted with the discussions.
Okay.
Um,
Also, if anybody's in Toronto, I have space that could be rented. I don't
well,
think any of you guys are in Toronto though, right?
no, but I love that, Venus, because that's what I would like my bi-monthly emails out, or blogs, or whatever they're called. I don't really know. If you have, that's the kind of stuff I would love. So Venus, if you have space to share,
Well,
let me know, and I can.
Well, it's not my space. Yeah, it's a space I rent in downtown Toronto, but they're like, they need some more people to rent this, and it's enough for us.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's, you dropped your paper on the floor. It's anyways,
Okay.
they might have to close it soon if nobody
Yeah,
rents it. So if you know anybody,
up.
sorry, they might have to close it soon if nobody rents it. But in the meantime,
Send
and
me
also
that
I'm trying. Okay, I'm breaking
Sorry,
up
you're breaking up, and we keep talking
because
over each
I'm
other.
on a train.
Yes, send me that info, and I will put it in the next reach out, so that I'm sure there's people who are wanting to more information on that. Thank you, Venus. All right, Todd, you had your hand up.
Hey, so as I'm listening, I'm just kind of thinking uh, about the big question, like that you first kind of offered out, was the importance and meaningfulness of having identity within drama therapists as a drama therapist. And it is, and I think I want to kind of include or bring to the front the our flexibility in what we do in so many different spaces, and why that's important, because I constantly doing, you know, workshops, or asked to do workshops, and I always make sure that my identity as a drama therapist is actually in the title of whatever I'm doing. Like I'm always saying, use drama therapeutic approaches or drama therapy experience. So that actually helps with identity and recognition, right? As far as what we do, because we can facilitate not only just in a one-on-one individual or couples environment, right? But we facilitate in the kind of social justice realm, which actually includes a lot of current events issues. We're talking about oppression or sexism or racism or anything that pertains to a marginalized or racialized community. I just did a big workshop for the town of New Glasgow, which is here in Nova Scotia, or there in Nova Scotia, for their city, dealing with how to take on tough conversations, right? So I think the importance of us as an identity or as an entity is also putting out how we can actually help address bigger issues, right? And I also do a lot of co-workshops with people, where other people who are organizing these events. I'm doing something in September and October, a men's thing, but they asked me to come in because they saw what we do, basically, how we're trained. And so there's a lot of cross-pollination. I'll bring in somebody, friends who I know who graduated from Concordia, say in the music therapy department, or in the art therapy department, because we really do engage a lot of that, right? And we kind of massage it or tailor it to our needs based on the audience that we receive.
Yeah.
I also am curious, because I don't quite understand. I'm willing to write a letter, and I think and it's important that people just hear that it's not drama therapy, and they're thinking very one-dimensional. And I think it's very important that we show them that we actually enter into a variety of spaces, right? And how important that work is, just to give them, because I always operate from a place that they have no idea, and a lot of people don't.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the if I'm understanding correctly, you can always write to Guylaine, who was the head of the art therapy at Concordia for a while, is really holding this. And I think the goal of the letter is to start helping the government understand that people are using our tools and without being trained drama therapists, and that can be problematic. And I think if we can create conversation and consecutive or just engagement around that idea, we'll be starting to take seriously of, oh, there's tools that they are trained in that other people shouldn't be using. And so the letter is really a kind of, I mean, there's options, there's letters of support, but there's also letters that they are asking for of, this happened to a client. They were with another therapist and they started doing a story writing about their life, and the therapist didn't know really where to take it. They got really traumatized. It's that kind of thing of somebody using a tool that they don't know how to use. It's taking away a job from you, that kind of information.
Yeah, I think it's also, yeah, I agree with you completely. I also kind of I'm thinking about it's a really providing evidence of substantive clarity about what,
Exactly. Yep. Great
right?
word. Great way to say it.
And to show this, the kind of substance there is to, just keep a log of all the things that we do, what the spaces are and what the benefit was, right? And to collect data collection, unfortunately, right? It was like get the reviews, or get the surveys, right? Create a little simple survey, 5-question, right?
Yeah.
And that helps in those kind of administrative realms so that they can measure it somehow, right? And see the backdoor in, and I'll just say, because I'm actually almost done with, Nova Scotia, my license is with the NSCCT, which is the Nova Scotia College of Counseling and Counselors and Therapists. And so it's so you need 50 extra supervision hours once you get your license before you can omit your C. So I'm a RCT hyphen C, which in other provinces, I know in Toronto, I forgot what it was. But once you get that, then you can also transfer your license to the OPQ. That's what I've heard also. And people in Toronto have done that also. Those are just kind of back doorways in, because you will always be a drama therapist. Nobody will take that away from you.
Yeah.
The other thing I'm thinking about too is this. I just saw not too long ago the email that went out to apply for the letters of RDT, right?
Yeah.
I'm wasn't not quite clear on what the choreography is with that. If somebody who has already finished their 50 hours of supervision at the master's, because we have to get supervisors or masters or PhDs. Do we need another separate 50 hours with another master's supervision? Or it looks like that kind of can be attached to it for your
for an RDT?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it's attached. It's
okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about too. So anyway, my thing is always just to get out there and to make sure that you are seen, that you identify as a drama therapist, so that it allows and it provides data collection, so that when you provide it to any administrative office, because they're looking at measures really, right? And then they'll say, oh, you did this for the city of, oh, you did this for this big company. And that I hope helps. I hate to use the word legitimize, but for them, you have to remember, they don't know, right? They just
exactly. You're inspiring me though, Todd. I kind of like this. I was writing these ideas of perhaps in these meetings, we have this space that is open so we can have conversations like this, but also maybe highlighting particular people and or questions or projects. So I'm going to put that out in the next, but I want you guys to think of it too. This idea of like, send me a big question, or send me Todd, you had sent me a workshop that you were doing, and now it's to be able to put that. I would love to highlight the work, because as I guess was saying, if you don't know people, you don't necessarily know what other people are doing. And to hear that, oh, you're a drama therapist and you ran a group on this, I could definitely do that at home. So I'd like this idea of of using this space for also inspiration, to inspire each other.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so thank you for that. You're inspiring me for
Okay.
for inspiration.
You're welcome.
You've had your hand up.
Yeah, hi. I just wanted to speak a little bit about what's going on here in British Columbia and offer maybe a little bit of a perspective, even though I don't have, you know, um, the opinions necessarily of the people who aren't here, but my
Yeah.
take maybe on what's going running through their head. So I'm on the board of directors of FACT BC, which is Federation of Associations of Counseling Therapists of British Columbia. And we are working on getting psychotherapy and counseling regulated in British Columbia. This organization has been around for a very, very long time. The original efforts have been going on like 20 plus years. And it was just approved last summer, like that psychotherapy is going to be regulated in British Columbia. So that was like a landmark achievement here. It passed last year, but it takes a while for it to actually be implemented. So right now the government is in the process of figuring out how the college is going to be formed. We're probably just going to get like there's other colleges that exist, and probably counseling is going to be regulated by one of those colleges, like the complementary therapies college, for example. We're just going to get absorbed into that. But for a long time, counseling hasn't been regulated in British Columbia, but there's a professional organization called the British Columbia Association of Clinical Counselors. So it's a professional association, which means it's supposed to be there to support the professionals, support us, rather than to protect the public, which is what a college does, right? But it was sort of operating as a de facto college. So like they had their own, requirements, like the NADTA does to become an RDT. So how do you become a registered clinical counselor? RCC is the title. And it's a rigorous process, just like getting an RDT, or becoming a CCC with the CCPA. And the reason why it was a working de facto because it wasn't regulated here. And that's what, like, if you wanted to work as a counselor for the health authorities, wanted you to have an RCC. If you were trying to bill people's insurance for counseling, they wanted you to be an RCC. And so a lot, so there's officially 11 people, 11 NADTA members in BC. However, through the BCCA, I found out that there's actually 25 drama therapists in British Columbia. And the way I actually, I had a pretty high standard. I wanted to I went through their directory and made sure that someone actually has a degree in drama therapy, a master's degree. Many of them are Concordia graduates, but many of them are also just are graduates from CIIS in San Francisco. So it sounds like a lot of people kind of stayed on the West Coast, right? Like they might be Canadian, but they wanted to stay close to family, maybe, or whatnot. So they actually went to the States. And so that's maybe part of the reason why they feel like disconnected from the rest of Canadian NADTA, because where they had their training. And also, I think that maybe they don't see the value of the NADTA because it's not, helping them with a credential to bill insurance or get a job. And that there's like the BCCA here is actually really, they provide a lot of continuing education that's free, lots of workshops, and yeah, it's a very supportive organization. They also provide insurance, for us, professional liability insurance. So I think that my speculation is that they wonder, well, what is the NADTA doing for me? Like, but but I don't know because I haven't really talked to these people. I have all of their email addresses. I'm hoping to create a survey where I can poll them and see, like, you know, why aren't you a part of the NADTA? What would you like from the NADTA?
Love that. Love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing that, Shannon. And you just mentioned, CEs for free.
Yeah.
I'm really curious how they can provide that for free. Would love to, yeah, kind of get more information on that. So that's a really good thing. I'm putting that down as certainly a discussion because it's definitely one of our big goals is why be part of the NADTA and creating value. We want to create value. The value will come from, not come from the value that you want is going to come from these discussions of what do you need, what's important. So I think we're at the beginnings of these conversations and being able to answer this. So I appreciate
Yeah.
this work.
And we're about 18 months out from like the regulation for psychotherapy and counseling actually being implemented. So it's, and between all of us, the British Columbia Association of Clinical Counselors used to be a part of FACT BC, and then there was a split. So they're advocating for one thing, and then FACT BC is advocating for something else. And so it's uncertain like how the grandfathering process is going to work. So I'm just a part of everything. So
Yeah.
I'll be
Well,
included in that.
please let me know if there's anything you want me to blast out to all our members or our BC members. And as we're talking, something I'm appreciating, as I had said, we didn't do it because I don't think we're enough of it, but I was really wanting to have a conversation with everybody and then be able to split up once we get more people to come to these in factions of your province. But I think it's really important, and I'm getting a lot out of just this conversation of what is happening in other provinces, who's doing what. Reading, as a Quebec person, reading about what's happening in Ontario, it inspires me to go, we should be able to have the same stuff and be able to get these conversations going and these identifying perhaps what we need to do or need to focus on. So I think these are all really good and important conversations.
Yeah, and actually, I don't know if everyone's aware of this, but hypothetically in Canada, there are mobility labor laws, which means that if you're working in a certain profession in one province, your credentials should carry over to another province. And so like as Todd was saying, some people from Ontario go back to Nova Scotia and vice versa and get their credentials recognized. So my big question still is like, why not join the CPO in Ontario, become a registered psychotherapist, and then carry that over to the OPQ? So I had actually written the OPQ and be like, how does it work? I'm a registered psychotherapist in Ontario. How do I get an OPQ permit? And they just gave me a very generic response back of the requirements. And so I don't know, at some point, like if there was enough volume, I feel like there could definitely be like litigation against the OPQ made if they're not recognizing people's credentials from other provinces.
And sorry, mention again, is that you said it was a law or what?
Yeah, Canadian labor mobility. I can send you a link on it.
I would love that, please.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
May I add something real quick, Cindy, too?
Yes, please.
So, because a couple of things. When we still kind of thinking about the big question on why to, join or be active more, what's the advantage, right? The value and ADT, right? It's, for me, I think we have to think of it it'd be interesting to think of it as in stages, right? Because it's not that we don't offer like insurance and all the things like the CCPA would offer, right? Because I get a lot of stuff through CCPA. But as just right now, as a tag along, right? Or just an actual attachment to, right? And so I love the idea of like, what can we do? What can we offer that can still count? And if it is CE credits, then that's the value, right? Because it would be great to be able to use those CE credits towards your, 3-year count of whatever, 30, right? And
Yep.
I think it's necessarily as I don't think it would be advantageous if we're thinking like, okay, how do we show value? And yeah, we become an its own entity where we can provide all these great, services and things like that. Maybe right now it's just the stage, right? The building of, well, what is it that we can do that we know we do well that maybe we can get through immediately faster, right? And just show that we can actually have wider recognition and validation in these areas. So CE credits are a great idea, I think. If Shannon said that or you said that, I can't remember. And then the other thing that I thought of when I was listening to Shannon was I know through province wide, there's stuff going on. I know there's stuff I'm trying to separate because I'm doing a lot of stuff with Nova Scotia mental health. There's a whole new thing coming in. I know with our college, they're working on changing the name from registered counseling therapist to psychotherapist, right? So that all uniformed across the provinces, everyone will be a psychotherapist, right? So that it makes it just much more easier, especially when we're filing claims against insurance and trying to, bill out or get for clients to be reimbursed.
Right.
Then I'm thinking about, okay, so how do creative arts therapists or drama therapists specifically attach to that? And because drama therapists were really embraced and taken on directly into the NAD, all these acronyms, I'm just kidding, NSCCT. I think I'm thinking about making sure we're first clear on pathways so that everybody is unified and can really take advantage of the licensure, right, under a certain title, right? So we can be psychotherapists with specialties in drama therapy, right? Or I don't know what it could look like, lots of different things. And that literally is only just for billing and insurance purposes, right? Because that's how we make our income, right? Our livelihood. Value for why would somebody want to join NADTA is because we provide that specific training, CE credits, and the high value of what we do can go into those very high stress areas, right? And work with people rather than somebody who's just kind of inspirational talker or, a coach type of thing, right? We can actually tap the difference between coaching and, therapy is really working either from today forward or from the past all the way through, right? And so we do that through our training. And maybe it's just also being clear with that. I don't know what the direction is or what the answer might be, but I think a good exploration in acceptance of like, all right, what do we do? What's the easiest route first?
Yeah, yeah. And certainly part of this role as the regional rep, for me, I really see it as trying to create a consistent way for Canadians to keep meeting so that this becomes part of the why do you become part of it? Because we're consistently connected. That's the thing is that you lose school and then you go off to, I guess, beautifully, it's just you're studying somewhere, you go to a different place, you're kind of alone. And so the ability uh, to get inspired to hear people's just what we were saying, like answering questions of what's the best way to advertise where you are, how do people get offices, it's very different from province to province, how you rent a space, what insurances are needed. So I love that we can have this space. I get constant questions, especially from new people moving to Canada. How does this go about? Like, how do you start this? And it's, yeah, we can answer those questions. We can be a support, not only on how you start, but how you continue, how you grow, how you thrive. That's the other great thing about drama therapy is, and seeing this as somebody who was in private practice for 17 years before coming into the education system, of how differently we all do it, how differently what we focus on, how we, some of us have spaces and some of us rent spaces. I would go to people's homes because I found it really helpful to connect to what they had in their home to help them connecting with their child. So all this to say is more of these conversations I think can be really helpful. And I like this idea too of just, I was sort of writing um, to have certain themes where it's less about what is the NADT talking about and more, I'm looking really big, Canadian labor mobility. Like that is a big topic for us to chew on. We don't have to necessarily have answers, but just to start paying attention and all sort of, I don't want to sound facetious, all caring about the same thing. And it's right. If we all start caring about this and we start shaking up in numbers, we can have movement. It's exciting. Thanks for that inspiration, everybody. This is the, okay, Shannon just put something up, and that is the.
Yeah, so the first one is just the CCPA talking about labor mobility. And then the second link is like the actual Canadian Free Trade Agreement, which discusses labor mobility.
Yeah. Yeah, and trying to wrap our brain around all of that is no joke. I was talking with Nisha Sajnani, who is sitting in the World Health Organization Arts and Health, and has sort of been traveling around the world with that. And the discussion of, well, if there are many countries that are seeing how the arts is part of health, we need to be bringing that to Canada because not enough. I can only talk for Quebec. I don't think Quebec is seeing the arts as a health. And the interesting thing is our practicum supervisors are seeing it. I get to meet with loads of practicum supervisors, and I'm really touched when they say your students are so well prepared to be working with people. The amount of practicum hours you guys have to do is incredible, way more than other counseling programs that get into the OPQ. And so it's a frustrating thing to hear and a really inspiring thing to hear when I can start collecting people to kind of spread that message. All right. Well, I took lots of notes and am very inspired. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining and talking and starting the conversation. Not starting, continuing the conversation. I really want to hear from you guys. I'll put this call to out. If you are doing something interesting, if you would like to talk about something that you're doing that's interesting, sharing and asking for help both are part of this process. Please share it. I want to create excitement. I want us to get inspired by each other and excited by each other and willing to write the letters and push and be heard and show Canada that there's a lot of us. There are a lot of us, and we are doing fantastic work.
Yeah. I just want to also say, like, we have as I'm sure they must have it in Ontario. But we'll do the AUKUS, I forget what that acronym is too, but it's all universities that throughout the Canadian, through all the provinces. But I always, if I'm doing a presentation, the one thing I always close with, especially if it's gone really well, is like, if you don't have a drama therapist, get one. So that way there's two different things, right, that happen. It's the kind of recognition of what we do and showing that, just kind of noting the value, but it's also just letting people know what it is, right? Because a lot of, as I said, and that once we get that attention, I think the attention will come when the OPQ sees that, oh, wow, these people are in these spaces, right? These institutional spaces.
Yeah.
Which maybe that's all they're waiting to see, right? Where are we operating, right? Because right now I'm sure they're thinking, oh, you're just in creative, black boxes and stuff, right? Versus the, academic institutions or these city agencies or these corporate environments, So.
It's true. You're making me think how I studied in 2000. So I started in 99 till 2000. And there, my professor, Stephen Snow, was quick to call us, you are pioneers. And I remember thinking that was really exciting word when I was a student, and not so exciting when I get into the workforce and nobody knows who we are or what we do. And it was, okay, I'm a pioneer. But that was 25 years ago. We shouldn't be pioneering anymore. This should be,
Yeah, but
I don't want to hear about pioneering anymore. It's like, no,
totally.
we're established, we are professionals.
Right, yeah. And I think I just want to strongly press on it. If you're in those spaces, no matter if it's administrative or if it's doing local government work or something, to always put forward that, this is part of a drama therapy technique, so people get used to that. I even I'm sorry, I forgot your name. SM? Is it?
It's Sabrina.
Sabrina, sorry.
Yeah. So, and you said you just got back from Rome. So I used to live in it. I go every year, and I have family and stuff. So I even one time, a friend of mine has a space, teaches dance, and so I just took her students and just did like a quick little drama therapy routine, and they didn't know what that was, but they loved it, right? And it's just putting the word out there, in the experience out there, so it becomes global, right? And I think a lot of those entities really, you have to treat them as if they have no idea who you are, because they don't. We're going through that same thing with our administrative of educating our administrative staff of what counseling does for a university, right? Because they don't have an idea. And I think a lot of times people forget, they think that just because they know us personally, they know what we do, and they don't. Right? So.
Perfect.
Nice to meet you, Sabrina, too. So. Salve.
Hey, perfect. Thank you so much, everybody, for participating. I am seeing how this is forming, and I'm excited. The next meeting will be September 7th. Again, it's a Sunday, same time, same place. I will put this out, but I'm doing a call. If there's anything you want to share, if there are things you'd like to talk about, or a subject you would really like to hear other people's opinions on, please let me know. There will be space to have free conversation, but I would love to, again, touch on the nerve of what people really want to hear. So please keep communicating with me. Let's end this by I'm feeling a bit buzzy. So let's talk about an inspiration, a word that you're feeling, a word that's coming to you from our conversation today. Like I said, I am energized and inspired. So, Agathe, how are you feeling?
I am exhausted, but not because of the conversation. No worries. I'm happy for the connection tonight and exhausted.
I'm going to hold some of your exhaustion. I'm going to hold it with you because I'm feeling really energized. So I'm going to help you with your exhaustion.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You can pass it to somebody.
Yeah, I'll pass it to Shannon.
Well, I'm also feeling very exhausted, so I'd appreciate some of Cindy's energy.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'm gonna hold your exhaustion too.
I'm very pregnant right now and having my own mobility issues. Not labor mobility, but general mobility. Yeah. Thank you, Cindy.
You're welcome. You want to pass to Sabrina?
Yes, to Sabrina.
I'm feeling, so I'm starting the drama therapy journey and I'm trying to connect all the dots. So I'm feeling a little, I don't know, uncertain because I don't know, the dots are not connecting. They're just kind of there. So I was like, what's going to happen in a few years when I graduate? So I don't want, it's not anxiety. It's just kind of like, where are these dots and how are they connecting? How are they connecting in general and how are they connecting to me? So I guess we'll call it floaty.
Yeah.
I'm floaty.
Thank you for sharing that, Sabrina. And please feel, I know you're here and you've been showing, so I know you feel this, but your voice, and we talked about this in our board meeting, actually, our incoming students' voices are so important because we have this experience, we're in it. And so the questions and the concerns you have are so important and organic. And sometimes we forget about them. So voice that stuff that you're asking questions about and pondering. It's good for us to remember those too.
Oh, thank you for saying that. Okay.
Pass it over to Todd.
Yes.
So the word that I came up with, which is just, I just felt zing. And zing just means zing. You know, you're like, oh, just a little quick little zing, you know. And Sabrina, feel free. Are you a new incoming student or are you already?
I will be starting full time this year because I was part time last year. So now
Okay.
I'm full time at Concordia.
So if anybody, if you ever feel like you just need to reach out to somebody, I'm always available. You can get Cindy has my information. So if you have questions or if you just like done one day, because we've all been there, you know, from exhaustion or just you know, like what I don't understand. I don't feel free to reach out. Yeah.
Oh wow. Thank you so much.
You want to put your email in the chat, Todd?
Oh yeah, I'm on the phone. Let me make sure. Let me see. Oh yeah, I can do it here. Hold on.
Yeah, same here, Sabrina. I'll put my info here. I'm also in Montreal, so if that's
okay. Wow, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and again, we will, you know, at Concordia, we host a whole bunch of stuff. So
yeah.
I'll make sure with Jessica that we remember to, because you're not alumni, like to get you involved as well.
I saw the email for the opening of the center, but it was the day it opened that I got the email, and I was like, well, I have a client, so I can't make.
Yeah, you know, to be honest, it was really just a, hey, look at this, but they don't even really have the space yet. So there's plenty of time still to be, to get involved.
Perfect.
And perfect. Thank you so much. I'll leave this open so everybody can see emails and phone numbers. And well, for all of you, I send you again all of the energy that I have. I'm sending it over to you guys. I'm appreciative of you. And let's continue to work, get excited, and bring drama therapy to the world.
Yay.
Thank you, Cindy. I know it's a
congratulations, Shannon, on your pregnancy. I can't believe you're naming the baby after me. That's weird, but okay.
Todd Jr.
Yeah, exactly. Congratulations, all the best to you. Okay.
Well, I don't know. You don't have to give personal information, but our next meeting on September 7th, will there be will we have another person maybe in the square?
I hope not. I'm only 6.5 months.
Okay.
People keep asking me if I'm having twins.
Perfect. No, we do not want to see them in September, so we'll patiently wait.
Yes. All the
right,
best.
you guys, if you need me, you know how to contact me. If not, I will see you guys at the next meeting.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Cindy, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Okay. Just at the end, or I don't know if you want
I'll stop the recording.
Perfect.
I'm gonna sign off.